Good morning and welcome to episode 16 of Essex County College Virtual Cafe. We hope you all are doing well during this time. Today's episode is International Graffiti. Now, we know in urban areas we see graffiti all the time, all over, mostly just tagging. I never really see anything super cool. Sometimes I do. There's been some stuff in Jersey City and some stuff in Newark I've seen that I like. Most of the time I just see tagging of people's names, which is cool, and letter art is awesome. But today we're going to be taking a trip around the world to see all different kinds of street art and graffiti that's out there. Miss Hunt, good morning.
Good morning. So we are on tea mode because it's freezing outside, but I got my snacks and I got my tea and I'm all ready to learn about international graffiti because I have no idea what international graffiti means. Like you, I've seen many tags. I actually know some of the artists that did some of the tagging in the, I guess, late 90s around the city of Newark and the downtown area, but and I tag a little myself. Don't tell anybody that.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. Cool.
But on an international perspective, I've never, really thought about it. So let's learn something.
Excellent. All right. Let's do this. All right. So first, we are going to be going to, this is not how you say it, but Malmo, Sweden.
Artscape 2014, Sweden's first ever international street art festival. Due to a restrictive and conservative Swedish view on public urban art, it was not easy to make Artscape 2014 happen. But after 2 years of applications and fundraising, Sweden's first ever full-scale street art festival was completed in Malmö during the early summer of 2014. 15 international artists from all over the world joined a handful of local artists in creating murals, sculptures, yarn graffiti, and origami, all in the city's public space, and the majority of the artwork was permanent pieces. Artscape 2014 was a groundbreaking project that has paved the way for all current and future Swedish artists wanting to express themselves within the urban art scene. The symbolic value of having strong international artists such as D-Face, Faith 47, and Natalia Rack making their permanent mark on the city is even greater than the beauty of the art itself.
All right. Wow. So we clearly see this here is levels above just tagging. It looks like they drew ladders into it, which is, I imagine, how they probably had to do it, right?
Yeah, and it probably set on the building. The ladders probably set on the building while they were doing it. And somebody said, "Hey, listen, that looks pretty dope. We should incorporate them into the tag." This is not what I thought when I thought international graffiti. I'm gonna be honest. I like it though, so let's keep going.
Yeah. That's crazy. Let me ask you one quick question about this one. This is a tall, very tall piece, right? So, like, if you're an artist making this, you have no idea how it's going to look when you're that up close on it, drawing on it. So I can't imagine how many times they had to get up off those ladders and go stand far back to see how it was looking to check on it, right? Or no?
Well, depending on the technology at the time, it might have been very easy for someone to stand back and take pictures, or they might have set up a camera of some sort scaled out just to have the dimensions proper in the tag. I mean,
you're right. There is other ways.
And it could have been a number of people also. When we think of graffiti in a more urban area, it's usually something very, very quiet and discreet. And of course taboo. It's frowned upon. I think you can get a ticket or go to jail behind it or something. But this looks orchestrated. This looks like it was. I'm gonna hope that whoever did this got clearance to do it. Like, this is a pretty big piece.
So I don't know. So I'm going to assume that all graffiti is illegal. And that's the one thing that unites it around the world, is that it's illegal or frowned upon, rather. But
I don't know.
This took time.
That's not an easy piece. That looked like it took some time.
Oh yeah. All right, let's keep it moving.
American artist Above created this very technical piece with overlapping arrows.
Okay, so that is a bunch of arrows all pointing upwards. Very colorful.
Just as easy.
Wow. So it's basically the same arrow stencil, and he's just doing different kinds of color schemes around it, right?
Yep, and overlap.
Looks awesome.
The Last Embrace Before Departure by UK artist D-Face, a highly appreciated piece overlooking a building site that will soon be Holma's brand new square.
All right, so this is pop art. You can tell by the really thick lines, vibrant colors. It's semi-realistic, but it is, cartoony. I love it. I think it's awesome. I love the little black aura that's surrounding their bodies, holding them together. What do you think?
I like it. I definitely like the piece. Again, I still feel like this was orchestrated. It couldn't have been as brazen and as illegal as some of the graffiti that I think we're used to. And it may differ by country. Our
Definitely.
level of understanding as it relates to graffiti might be a little pigeonholed into the more urban areas. Maybe this is a type of graffiti that we can embrace. I mean, I like it.
Definitely.
The Holma Troll by Australian artist Smug One. Using only spray cans and working completely freehand, Smug creates masterful photorealist work with a twist.
Okay, so this is really creepy. It's trolls, so we know trolls, right?
And I was gonna say, I don't know if I want to look at anything like that big. That looks like nightmares, man. Could you imagine, like, standing in your window at night and you catch a glimpse of this guy?
Look at that belly. It's like so pronounced. He ain't even that big, but that belly
What
is like
about the troll
it.
doll hanging from his? I don't even know where it's hanging from. That's crazy. It's really creepy.
Looks
And
like
then
he's holding it by the hair.
And I guess there's his hair on his tail.
I'm hoping. Oh yeah.
Oh, and what is that? A log up to his ear? What's going on up there?
Yeah, it looks like he's holding this log of wood up by his head. I have no idea why. I don't know why his face is blurred out. Maybe it's a real person.
Well, I think that's the twist part. Maybe you envision what you want there.
I don't know about this long toe right here. Look at that thing. Oh my god.
It's very pronounced. This is he looks like his feet might smell.
Polish artist Natalia Rack is a very appreciated piece and located right at the heart of the Malmö city center.
Okay, so this is pretty cool. She's opening a book, and out of the book is coming tentacles. It's a squid, obviously. I know squids are big in other countries.
What's the bottom of it look like? Okay.
The Secret Book by Polish artist Natalia Rack is a very appreciated piece, Wall, painted by Ola Kalnins, a local artist with a strong abstract style. Ola actually grew up in this area of Malmö and is well known by the local community. Try to find all the hidden gramophones.
Okay, so there is hidden gramophone, aka record players, in this piece. I don't see any of them. Do you?
I see the I guess in the more modern ones, the very exaggerated microphone. I see that piece. I don't see the bottom part though.
Wow. So this is really, I don't know what this is. I like it. It looks crazy though.
I don't know if I like it. I can't. I'm not getting anything from it. I don't know what the thought was behind it.
Now there are some elements, like tagging elements, that we have. This is the first stop on this tour that we've seen. So this is recognizable. This style of tagging.
And the R with the squiggly line up under it.
Yep.
And that piece on the right there, my right, maybe your left, with the music notes in it.
Oh yeah.
So
sure.
we will. I guess we will say that this is a abstract musical piece.
I like that. Yeah. All right, moving on. Malmö.
Artwork in the Möllevången area of Malmö, painted by prolific local artist Leon.
That's awesome. That's like tattoo stuff right there.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
So that's a vulture or a big bird, and he's got 2 train cars in his legs, right?
Yep, in his talons. Yep, sure does. That's exactly what he has.
Sharp talons.
So are you getting the smoke vibe? Like he just tore some things up really quickly?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wow.
I
So,
like it.
so in a piece like this, I mean, I know neither of us are. Well, you said you've done, or you are aware of someone that may look like you that has done things like this. Um, what gets done first on this? The whole background, I guess, right? So they have to do all that smoke layer, like you're saying, and then the bird
Uh,
gets added.
I think when it comes to tagging, it is done. Like even though it's done freehand, they're still prepping. There's still pieces done prior to. So I feel like this was probably drawn somewhere else before, and the artist probably knew exactly what pieces to do in the effort to maximize on time. So it might have been a straight across. The because the details are all in the middle.
Oh yeah.
So that to me, I probably have done that part first and then expanded out to the sides because it looks like the easier part to do.
This one's cool because it looks like maybe they put like painter's tape or something along to make it seem so perfect, but yet if you look at the top here, the explosion behind the bird, it expands past that border line that they made for themselves. It's kind of cool when one part of the piece sticks out above where it looks like it's been like measured to be perfect, you know?
And the texture is different in the middle. I want to say that looks like a door, quite possibly,
You're right. You're right. It looks like windows above, or oh yeah, it
or
looks like a
something
big garage door.
actually open, which is probably why they put the explosion on the glass. Probably looks really,
Oh,
really cool in person. And if the sun's hitting it like from a very specific angle, it's probably super dope.
all right.
Stinkfish from Colombia painted these two vibrant faces he had encountered on his travels across India.
Okay. Very cool. I'm wondering what is going on in the foreheads of these two.
Yeah, that was the first thing that I noticed. There's a little person holding. There's something holding a little person on this kid's forehead. Is what it looks like to me. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be more of a religious, symbolic Indian symbol, but they did a very, very poor job at, or maybe they didn't. Maybe that's intentional. It looks like there's something holding someone on his forehead, though.
Hmm. Could also be reference to maybe like the third eye, the mind's eye. I don't know because it looks like there's something emanating from around where this third eye would be. I don't know. This is really trippy stuff.
Yeah,
I like how this hidden wall over here was also done, and it's like an L shape going down. That's a lot of work.
yeah, and it ties the two pictures together.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I like the colors, and I like that they didn't go with a traditional color for the skin tone.
Yeah, it's like gold.
Right.
Very cool. All right, moving on. Okay, so we have finished Malmot, or I don't know how that dude said it. Malmot Sweden.
Say it 5 times fast.
Malmot. All right, so we are moving on to Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Oh, nice.
Pasaje Lenin is one of the most magical places in Buenos Aires and is still unknown to many locals. Marino Santamaria is a visual artist born and raised in the Baracas neighborhood, with an extensive career in the country. Together with a team of assistants, he began a project consisting of murals created using mosaics and ceramic materials. Decorative work on the blocks in Pasaje Lenin began in 2001 and is still ongoing, continually increasing in size as local residents keep asking for their facades to be decorated. Marino Santamaria prefers to call them urban interventions, and they have earned him the respect of the graffiti community. He is also an artist continuing in the tradition of artists such as Quinquela Martin, who drew inspiration from the idea of art for the people.
Okay, so that answers our question. Miss Hunt was saying before, yes, in some regions, in some countries of the world, this is not illegal. This is requested. Looks like they're updating the neighborhood. They want fresh art. They want to spruce things up and not make it look run down, right?
Right.
So this is really cool. This is mostly, this is, mosaic kind of tiley stuff, background stuff. Very cool, though. Definitely adds a lot of vibrance and freshness to this, what looks like it used to be beat up street in Buenos Aires.
I'm wondering if the whoever if it's the person that owns the facade or if it's a rental situation, and who gets to choose the colors.
Yeah.
They probably just leave it up to the artist. But
So this
because
one,
it doesn't follow a particular pattern or color scheme, it's just random.
so this one artist got to do the entire block. I wonder if that's like exciting or daunting. Probably both, right?
I would have to imagine being able to do something in the elements is pretty amazing, especially if it's your craft.
Like, could you imagine living in like Newark and some like townsfolk asking you, "Oh, we need you to do all of Market Street, and we'll pay you," and like that would be crazy. How that would
Well,
change graffiti.
see, now that you said that, one of my sorority sisters is a featured New York artist, and she was commissioned to decorate the bus stop, the walls inside the bus stops. So you have like the little structures that are plastic with the, I guess, to keep the rain out, or if it's I guess a little windy, it blocks the wind and different things like that. But inside, sometimes there's ads for like quit smoking or different things like that. But sometimes they actually put art in it. And she was commissioned to do a couple of the bus stops in New York. I mean, she's
That,
done tons of work all over the city, but that's probably one of the coolest things I've seen her do.
that's awesome. Wow.
And she was asked to do an elevator inside of a school or something like that. Like, she's done some pretty big projects. They're pretty dope. Next time, I'll see if I can get her on, and if I can't, at least get some of her work up. But it's amazing. And it all started because we were trying to go to a party, and she wanted to wear, I think, just red sneakers with gold in them or something like that, and nothing existed. So she created them, and it just rolled from there. It just continued on. She was like a bio major or something, and now she's an artist.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That inspires me. It makes me begin to contemplate ways to get this passed by Essex County College big guys. I wonder if there's a way in the future to get some awesome art done on some of our buildings. I think that would really increase the eye candy value of what we look like in downtown,
Doma is one of the urban art collectives whose first interventions in the public space dates back to the late 90s. They are Argentinian pioneers in transitioning from large-scale walls to canvases and more traditional art formats, all while maintaining their unique style. All members of this collective have artworks and exhibits in various museums and galleries worldwide. Some members of the collective no longer live in the country, so each time they come together, it is a welcome surprise with a fantastic result.
Okay.
Nope.
No idea.
Nope.
So it's like
something segmented. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. I hope this isn't like a seal. All right, let's move on.
New York graffiti culture was a long time coming to Argentina. Its late arrival was due to the fact that during the last and most violent military dictatorship, any intervention in the public space could cost the artist their life. When graffiti finally arrived in the country, it became a form of expression just like any other, so there was no direct association with a notion of graffiti as conveying a territorial or aggressive message. Many graffiti artists within the local movement paint simply because they can. Of course, there is also a strain within the movement that has held on to its rebellious essence, but many have gone on to broaden their talents whilst keeping spray paint as their main technique.
Okay, so we're using the same type of mediums here. We're using brick walls, we're using spray paint, we're clearly using stencils and potentially tape to keep these nice straight lines here. This looks like some stuff we would see in America, right?
Exactly. More something we're a lot more used to seeing.
Whoa, what is this?
I don't know, but I like it.
What? Well, wow. That look. I don't know where the head is, but this looks like Gyarados from Pokemon. You know what Magikarp turns into? But like very, very colorful. And this is a tail, I think. That is creepy. Wow.
The 2001 crime, New York graffiti culture was a long time coming.
Before we skip ahead, let's keep looking at, we didn't get this whole wall. This is like a one giant long street of graffiti. All right. Who's this dude? You see this?
I do.
Weird.
And there's like a werewolf looking something above him too. That's a face.
Oh yeah. Wow, there's some really creative stuff here. I love the ghoulish type images, the skulls.
Yeah, you know, it gives me a almost a New Orleans type feel. The little, it looks like a little voodoo doll. The one down here, back over to your, I guess, left with the polka dot. Yeah, that over there.
Very true. Is there stuff like this on Bourbon Street? Do they have like graffiti runs or anything like that?
Not that I saw. I went to New Orleans last July, and I didn't see a lot. The city in itself, the way it was built and structured, I think that it talks to the town, not so much things like this.
Got you. Oh, let's keep checking out this street here because there's a lot of stuff. All right.
So the park belongs on the sidewalk. That's what we do.
Excellent parking job.
Excellent.
Okay. That is really cool. Okay, this looks like almost like Spawn, the comic book character. Is that 100% Spawn? I don't know. It looks like a Buenos Aires version of Spawn.
That's cool. To see that.
This is almost like Lady Death looking or something. A lot of pop culture and comic reference things I think happen in graffiti. Interesting.
It's not a far leap.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm willing to bet that most graffiti artists have a pretty sizable comic book collection or something along those lines.
I see bodies.
Oh, I totally see what this is now. We're going to go ahead and keep moving. All right.
Yeah, we are.
ISIS led to a phenomenon that inspired a number of different protests worldwide. This was known as the Reclaimed Factories movement. Hundreds of factories were shut down en masse while their owners decided to flee the country, selling their machinery, vacating the buildings, and leaving thousands of workers unemployed. The workers decided to continue without their bosses, group together, and take over the factories. In 2003, President Nestor Kirchner created a law to legalize this process as it was a measure that safeguarded national industry. Many of the reclaimed factories are still in operation, like this one we now see in the Baracus neighborhood. Gaia and Nanook, two U.S. artists, created this work as a tribute to the workers who fought for their unity and their source of income.
All right, so if you take a look in the bottom left over here, you'll see we got your regular tag from somebody just not as dedicated as wanting to get up on the ladder and do all this, but that is pretty crazy.
Are those trash cans? What is that?
It's either trash cans or ice creams. I can't tell.
I'm gonna go with trash.
Right.
If it's a salute to workers, I'm gonna go with some type of labor force.
All right, I like it. Oh yeah, all the hands for sure. Cool. All right, moving on.
Sidewalls in Argentina have become massive canvases for artists looking to expand the dimensions of their works. This is one example by the Catalan artist Ariz, who visited Buenos Aires in 2012 for the Meeting of Styles Festival. This celebration of street art took place in the southern part of the city in the neighborhood of San Telmo. Ariz has been influenced by hip-hop culture and traditional graffiti, but also by his studies at fine art school, and he prefers to define his works as contemporary muralism.
Okay, so this is contemporary muralism, clearly anthropomorphic because we have a rhino or a hippo. Is that a hippo? You're on mute. Say whatever you just said again because you were on. I think you're still on mute. There you go.
I said I'm not sure what it is. I just see the elongated snout. I just know it's not human, but it has human hands.
Yep. So that's cool. Wow, he had a little top hat on. All right.
Sort of ET-ish,
Definitely got an ET vibe because of the bike in the basket.
like in
Definitely.
the basket. Hey, it's a direct TV satellite.
Oh my god. All right, let's move it on. All right, we are going to head to another area of Argentina because Argentina has plenty of street art and graffiti. So these are going to be, we were just at Baracas and now we're heading over to Villa Crespo.
Building owners often offer their facades to artists. In this case, the owner of the building decided to convert his property into an urban museum with work changing every 6 months. The owner pays the expenses, the artist creates the work. In this example, we see a mural entirely spray painted by hand by the artist Mart. He created it in his more recent style, showing romantic and organic landscapes. In this specific one, we see bicycles and tins of paint.
Okay, this is really cool. And I like that story that this is a job and the person that owns the building has hired the artist to do it. It's great. It lends a lot of credibility to the art form, right?
So, do you see what I see? The eyes are the quote unquote bike wheels,
Yep.
pedals,
And they're
and then
flowers,
there's
right?
a nose and a mouth below it.
Oh yeah. Interesting. And then there's that guy who's jumping out of his ear, right? With a soccer
Yep.
ball and he has a bottle of wine and a cup on his arm.
Yeah, I see it.
There's a little moon below him and some plants. This is very weird. I like it.
And I'm wondering, and I'm pretty sure that the stuff that's I guess on the chin is
Not supposed to be there.
unwanted and unwarranted graffiti.
That was a much less talented graffiti artist who was very upset that this was an awesome mural and they wanted to just destroy it. So this is how you graffiti right here. That's how you do that.
Graffiti.
Collaborative works are very important in Argentine urban art. They are seen as a key feature of the local movement, where artists share and merge their styles to accomplish unique, unrepeatable pieces. This is made possible by the flexibility and willingness of the artists in bringing together different forms of expression, in which, at first sight, it is difficult to see where one artist's contribution ends and another's begins. In this case, Ever and Mart, local artists, share the wall with Desertor, a Peruvian artist. It was painted in the Palermo neighborhood during the 3-day mosque festival, combining techniques, styles, and materials.
Okay, so that's a pretty cool concept. So you have one artist on the bottom and one artist on the top, and they're both sharing about an equal amount of space, splitting the wall all the way down this street here we're going to check out. So this is cool because this looks like some tagging, but it's surrounded by really, really nice flowers and really, really cool line work, right?
Awesome. Are they orchids?
I believe so. This person's trying to get into their car. Okay.
Here's your third eye.
Yep. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Right there. Third eye seems to be a very popular idea to be depicted in graffiti. This is like a very, very lifelike portrait. Very weird as well. Dude smoking there. Okay. Okay.
Well, there's the illusion, isn't it?
Yep.
Do you actually see something? Or is it just smoke?
It's just smoke. That's interesting.
I'm not sure how I feel. Okay, you know what? Nope, not gonna say that.
Okay. Some more tagging, but then you have this person here with the very sad or concerned look. So it's blurred there, but it's not blurred here. Interesting. Okay. You got this interesting looking fellow up here.
Mm-hmm. I actually like whatever this eye,
Another third eye.
yeah, pattern situation. I like that.
Yeah, it's really cool. The background's really soft. It lets the black and the white here really come through. Awesome. All right, let's move on.
When we
Did
speak
you
of urban
include-
art, we are generally talking about a work or piece that is created with a purpose. The intention of each piece varies, but usually in some way conveys a message, idea, or a joke of sorts. Whatever the purpose, the movement as a whole is considered as one seeking to challenge the traditional concept of art while also interacting with the community. Nanook is an artist from the US who visited Buenos Aires in 2012. Inspired by the revolution that took place in 2011 in Egypt, the focal point of which was Tahrir Square in Cairo, this artist reflects on the influence and importance of social networks in spreading the word about the revolution to the world.
Okay, so here we have something probably a lot more metaphorical than what I can describe, but whatever's coming out of this person's ear is going into this person's hand. Is that what this is? You're on mute again, Miss Hunt.
Yeah, I know. My dog is having a whole fit in the background.
Oh no, is he okay?
Yeah. I wonder if this is the communist piece that we heard the commentary for before.
Could be. This looks like a picture of Jack Nicholson in The Shining coming through the door here. I don't know why it's blurred.
I'm pretty sure that that's exactly what it is. And even if it's not, that's what we're going to say it is.
Absolutely. All right. There's some stuff down the street here. Let's just see this real quick. We got some giraffes riding bikes. Okay. Oh, it's one tandem bicycle. That's even better. And it looks like all mathematical equations behind them. Wow. All right, we got two beasts here, two stallions. Okay. All right, moving along. All right, so I like these letters. They're very, very thick. They jump right out at you. Cool splash around there with the orange and all the dots. I love that this has a character too, because most of the time, you know, when I see graffiti, it's usually just a name, but you got to add a little something, you know?
Yep.
Okay, that's really pretty. So that looks like a forest scape there. It goes deep, way back. A lot of depth in this. Can't really tell what's in the center here.
Tribal person.
Oh, yeah. Definitely some type of tribal. This is like...
Looks like a Pokemon character.
Looks like a mix of like a Pokemon and Skeletor. Something else.
In Chacarita, there is a bus stop terminal whose walls were painted for the first time more than 10 years ago and are still being changed virtually every month by the same artists, and their ever-changing styles can be seen in the wall's history. They meet spontaneously, always with the intention of spending time with their friends. In January 2014, local artists Shonas and Nerf celebrated the arrival of Seth, the graffiti writer who is emblematic of the Paris old school. The result was this huge work running right along this wall, spontaneously combining techniques with no prior sketching out. Merging Nerf's sharp 3D approach and Seth's illustration together with Shonas's cartoon characters, this work was executed in aerosol on a latex paint background.
Interesting.
Opposite a bus station in Chacarita, one local resident, inspired by the urban art that abounds in the area, invited artists to paint on this route by offering the walls of her house to artists who wanted to paint it. Sixe is a Spanish artist who visited Buenos Aires in 2012. Influenced by the economic crisis in his country, he decided to paint what everyone is thinking about. Meaningless numbers and equations cover every inch of the wall. Shu, a local artist and member of the Mythic Doma collective and graphic designer, decided to paint meteorites who break away from this system. 6A explains that the collaborative work is a reflection on the different viewpoints that emerge following a crisis, as an opportunity to wipe the slate clean and start afresh. A year later, Stenciland added some detailed stencil giraffes, adding a new layer of meaning to the work.
So that was maybe the one with the tandem bike.
That was with the bike. Yep, with the giraffes for sure.
Aw.
Yeah, this is cool. Aw,
No.
this is weird.
This is missing children.
That's sad, but this is weird.
What? This is the bus depot,
Yep.
and this is the one where it said the artist changes the work itself every month.
Yes. Yep. And they just gray wash it over.
Mm-hmm. Hey, there's a pig.
Look, there's like a little poop here. I love it.
Oh man, and they dance.
He has a Wu-Tang boating hat on. He looks like Uncle Lewis.
Man.
Oh my god.
We Are Graffiti Mundo, a nonprofit organization founded to promote urban artists and raise awareness of their work. Using this innovative Google tool, we are going to take a virtual tour through various neighborhoods of Buenos Aires. An abortive attempt to build a highway back in the 1990s left the northern part of the city full of half-destroyed walls. These walls were reclaimed by graffiti artists, who simply could not believe their luck. The walls became a focal point of their movement. And then came the turn of the street artists. Renowned Italian street artist Blue has created works of art all over the world. His pieces are generally produced on an epic scale and built around strong concepts. He has also made wall-painted animations in the street using stop-motion or frame-by-frame technique. A few scenes from his short film Mudo were painted here, in this street art mecca, as was this magnum opus. These days, the local residents and even the city government, which stepped in to help alter this structure, are actively encouraging artists to work on the walls.
Okay, so again, in Buenos Aires, the artists are actively encouraged to paint up whatever walls are available. So this is awesome.
By the government.
By the government. That's crazy. Hey, look, a murder hornet. Nice.
Ha. Is it really?
Nah, it's like a hornet holding a golf. It's like a hornet, and he has a little golf pencil for when you do miniature golf in his hand. And he's dancing on a CD. I don't know. This guy's hair is turning into an airplane, and he has some kind of bug on his tongue. Wow. All right.
In the late 90s, the Doma and Face collectives joined forces to add a splash of color to the walls of Buenos Aires. And although it was impossible to ignore the difficult economic and political situation in 2001, those artists created a unique style of their own. Using cartoon characters, they honed a style that was unique not only in Buenos Aires, but in many other parts of the world. This one, in the Collegiales neighborhood, is more than 8 years old and was created spontaneously one Sunday after a barbecue among artist friends, with each person painting their own distinctive cartoon character. Among those seen here are Tech, Shu, Defi, Pedro, Perelman, and others.
Okay, so these are, to us, international cartoon characters being tagged on a wall. Really cool. Love all the lines. Love Cactus Man here.
Yeah, I think I've seen these little blue guys over here to the left. Yeah, those guys. I think that's Pedro and P something.
Interesting. What are they from?
I don't know. Something I've seen in passing, I'm sure. Or it could have been an actual comic book or magazine or something. But I know I've seen them before.
Cool, cool. All right, let's see where we're going.
In the Collegialis neighborhood, one wall displays the surreal world created by the artist Gualicho. The work was painted more than 8 years ago and was restored recently by local residents who are happy to have it in their neighborhood. The story behind this work begins on a bridge over Cali Newberry, where Gualicho was creating his psychedelic world, not paying too much attention to passerbys, when he was approached by a local resident offering to pay for Gualicho's materials if he'd paint a piece on his home. There are many places in Buenos Aires where the building owners have complete control over the exterior's style and look.
Okay, cool. So this is pretty interesting because a lot of stuff going on, yet you're really only using two colors, just yellow and orange, and the black, for the outlines and textures and whatnot. Another third eye idea appearing in the middle of a hand here. Seems to be very popular in Argentina.
And it doesn't look like they spoke to the aquatic side of it, but I see a whale and I guess a fish of some sort.
Yeah, right, in the sky. So the whale is in the sky, the fish is in the sky, and we have this giant, like, cat or lion's mouth. Psychedelic is right. We got a mermaid.
I mean, that could be the piece that they were just talking about.
It could have been. Yeah, sometimes it starts telling us information about the painting, but it's not showing us that. It's showing us other graffiti. Interesting. All right.
Urban art is still illegal in many parts of the world. However, it's generally well received in Buenos Aires due to the long tradition of artistic public expression in the city. The movement is seen as a way to beautify the streets and recycle the walls. On this wall, we can see the renowned Australian artist Fintan McGee, who in 2014 visited the Palermo neighborhood, which is a favorite among artists worldwide.
Pretty cool. Some little bird here. I think I spotted another bird right over here.
Right over top there.
Yeah.
That's a pretty awesome bird. It's a lot of detail there.
For sure. It's a dog reading a newspaper.
Always great. Always great.
See if we can get a little closer to that good boy. Good boy. All right, so then there's a lion and some astronauts. Wow.
I think you're mistaken. I think the lions are still astronauts. I'm not sure what they're riding there, but and then we're gonna talk about the fact that the dog has human hands.
This dog has human hands.
That's all I wanted to say. Just putting it out there.
I love it.
Propaganda has been no stranger to the streets of Buenos Aires since the 1950s. Urban artists must find a way to coexist with this political propaganda or gain the respect of commissioned painters in order for their works to remain. The corner of Dorrego and Libertador is a major traffic intersection in Buenos Aires. Thousands of drivers pass through it to get to work each morning. As a result, this location has been targeted for countless political messages which change by the week. That was until MOS, a graffiti event, was held there and the works of artists such as Emi Mariani and Lin Fritzere conquered it, painting not only an Argentine cultural icon, Maradona, but also one of the moments that he became an idol for football aficionados. Since then, political propaganda seems to be respecting urban art.
All right, so yeah, we definitely a big political influence in a lot of the work we're seeing. If it's not some kind of trippy psychedelic piece, there is probably some political aspect to it. This is huge, as you can see, for perspective. This old man walking by, let's say he's at least 5'5". This makes this entire mural massive. This is underneath a bridge, right, in an intersection. Super cool. Very
the play on colors. You went from a very vibrant black and yellow pattern, and it just scaled into almost grayscale.
Oh yeah,
the exception of like the red dress at the end.
Just some minimal, just some stuff to stand out. Really cool. So we want to thank you all for joining us today for episode 16 already. Can you believe it? Of the Virtual Cafe. We went and did some international graffiti. We didn't do it, but we saw some international graffiti in Malmö, Sweden, and also Buenos Aires, Argentina. What'd you think about the difference in street art here and out in other countries, Ms. Hunt?
I think our definition has expanded greatly, which is pretty awesome. I like it. I like it. I like learning about the different international cultures, artwork, artistry, artists, foods. I mean, it's just something I like doing. So it was pretty dope.
Absolutely. All right. I want to thank you all for joining us on Virtual Cafe today. We'll be back here tomorrow with Dr. Spellman for Egypt 102. And other than that, have a great day. Eat some good food. Do some good things for good people. Take care.
Stay safe.